You're listening to episode 56 of the Let's Go Comic Show. On this episode, we talk about No Justice #1, Batman White Knight 8, a whole bunch of other comic book news, and we smell those flowers. You're listening to episode 56 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
And I'm Matt.
Hey, dude.
Hey,
how's it going?
Dude.
How is your
Do you
post?
remember that show?
Hey, dude. Yeah, dude. Like
It's so good.
Yeah, dude. Hey, dude.
Ben Stiller's wife. Is that?
That's right, dude. She was on that before she did Marcia from the Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah.
Dude, some of those Nickelodeon shows are really good. Remember Pete and Pete? I like that show.
Oh, it was so good.
Pete and Pete was good.
Was Salute Your Shorts on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, I was just going to get
so
this.
good.
Salute Your Shorts. Dude, Salute Your Shorts was a good
Donkey Lips.
one. Donkey Lips, dude. Donkey Lips.
Oh man! Last week was Street Sharks, and we're just reliving our childhood through live-action Nickelodeon shows.
90s Nickelodeon weekend, dude. Salute Your Shorts was that one show that there was a girl in there I had a crush on her. I don't.
For
they
sure.
changed her. She was only on there like for like 2 seasons, and they changed her out for some other girl. And I was like, where the heck's the
Can
other
I tell
girl?
you that I still remember the song that they sing at the beginning of it? How
Camp
weird!
on we hold you in our hearts, and when I think about you, it makes me wanna fart. It's I hope we never part. What did he say? What did he say? Like, keep
What
it
was the
straight
name
or
of the
pay
camp
the
counselor?
price.
Yeah, the camp counselor always had the sunscreen on his nose.
I don't remember, but he's a total douche.
He was.
Yeah. So
And then
let's
Donkey
reboot that.
Lips.
And Donkey Lips, and it was like the kind of that punk kid, the redhead kid, Danny or Donnie.
Yeah,
He was like-
in a bunch of stuff. I feel like in the 90s.
He used to be on Different Strokes. He was like Arnold's like stepbrother, like when his dad got married, because he had that like redheaded bowl cut.
I was gonna say he had the redhead mullet for a while there.
I remember he had like a heavy metal band, but he was in Terminator 2. He also played
That's what it
John
was.
Connor's friend.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
They're like, all right, this
He was always
redhead,
just like a punk.
redhead kid with a mullet and denim vest. Just he was just typecast. They're all. Can you just be like the butthole kid, the friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see my red mullet?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, and I think at times it was spiked like on top.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a party; it was like a dangerous party all over. There was no business. It was party
It just felt
all
like
the way
very
down.
Joan Jett.
It was, but Joan Jett's was hot.
Well, yeah, that's because it was on Joan Jett.
That's true. So speaking of Joan Jett, my kid had a art project, and he named it.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I'm not gonna lie.
This has nothing to do with comics. He just named it "I Love Rock and Roll." What's the name of his art
Did you
project?
Did you make him listen to the song?
I think he's heard it because we kind of put it into like a playlist that we have in the car, and so I think after like Guardians came out, like they were singing that like Cherry Bomb song, which is kind of weird because it implies other things.
Oh,
But
does it now?
It just became a playlist, and that song got added to it. Anyways, there you go.
Yeah, no.
Some little behind the scenes. You know, you guys like our Carl's Jr. stories. Can I tell you a little bit about
Our Street Sharks
Nickelodeon?
casting.
Street Sharks casting. Like, who
I
cares
stand
about
by it.
Infinity War? Like, last
cares about
episode
Infinity
was
War?
all
No.
about Street Sharks.
Obviously,
Rock.
you didn't.
Dude, I cared about it. The Rock, Mark Wahlberg. Who else was it?
John Cena.
John Cena,
We'll throw Donnie Wahlberg in there.
Donnie, and then you added Kevin Hart.
Yes.
Oh man,
As like the
I don't-
human, like protagonist, like
yeah,
sidekick.
or just a little shark. He's like, hey, dude, that movie needs to happen. If that movie happens in like 10 years, we can claim like intellectual or like.
You know what's funny
association to it.
is I was gonna send it to you on social media. And I totally forgot it.
Great.
But you freaking like that happened already on Moana.
Wait, what?
The Rock, his character,
Was it Street Shark?
he transforms like the top half of him into a shark.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't see Moana.
yeah, it was pretty funny. Shark Kid.
We should just cast every 90s like cartoon that has not been made into something else. Like obviously Ninja Turtles. But I don't remember anything else.
Obviously.
There was Barnyard Commandos, but that
Barnyard Commandos.
remember Barnyard
I do.
that just didn't have the coolness of Street
Oh,
Sharks though.
man,
Like
it's
Street Sharks
dumb.
was cool, man. Those are like cool looking toys. Barnyard Commandos were not cool. That was like That was like the 9th Ninja Turtle reject. They're like, hey, let's try. I've got a great idea. They're commandos, but they're from a barnyard. It's like the pitch meeting in Elf. Peach. Okay, all right. So
they're too vulnerable.
They're too vulnerable.
Fruits out.
All right. Oh gosh, you sent me that picture. All right. That's funny.
So he has experience, man.
He's got shark experience. He's like, come on, bro, I'll do it. Before I do Black Adam, that movie will never come out.
Oh, dude,
do you ever think that movie's gonna come out?
Who knows, man?
I'd like for it to come out. I just don't see it.
Will The Flash ever come out? I don't know.
Probably. I don't know, man.
Who knows anything? I know that Shazam is happening. I mean, so that's good.
Yeah, it wrapped filming, so that's cool. Like last week.
Nice.
So, there you go. That's
that was
coming.
Recent news.
Hey, news! You are listening to the Let's Go Comic Show, where we talk about everything in the world of comics, comic book TV shows, comic books, comic book movies, everything.
And 90s TV shows.
And 90s TV shows with modern recasting. So, next episode, we will cast the Clarissa Explains It All movie. We'll see Margot Robbie as
Ferguson.
Clarissa. Who's Ferguson?
Wasn't that her brother, right?
Yeah, no, but who's going to be in, like, Star-Lord?
The guy from... No. The guy with red hair from...
Seth Rogen.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson, is that his name? From Modern Family?
Oh.
He could be like...
he can totally be Ferg. And what was the other guy, her boyfriend, who was like...
It's like Sam or something.
Sam,
like that, right?
Why do
I remember these things?
Because
why do I have this information?
They're good shows, dude. They're good shows. They're already redoing Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Like, let's do Clarissa. Let's just do all shows that Melissa Joan Hart was on.
Oh, no. I don't know if that's a wise idea.
Yeah, because then you'd have to redo Joey, and that's just a terrible thing.
Oh,
or was it Joey, or what was it called?
See?
Joey was in it.
I don't have.
I don't know. Sorry. I'm failing. I don't know why I know some of these things, because I never watched it. I watched
Clarissa Explains It All.
No, I watched Clarissa Explains It All, but I didn't watch...
Right along with The Secret World of Alice Mack.
Oh, dang, dude. Allison Mack, dude.
I think it's Alex. It was Alex.
Was it Alex?
Yeah, because she had like a tomboy. Like,
okay. All right, dude. We better stop because we're going to end up getting into Hannah Montana.
But we do talk about comics.
We do talk about comics, and we are going to talk about comics. But I really want to cast the Clarissa movie.
I feel like we have a solid.
It's
start.
It's like a dark, but it's like a dark take, and it's like what's wrong? Like her brother's actually a murderer, because you know how he kind of always had like this like weird like vibe on him, but then one day Sam doesn't make it in. He climbs into the window, but he dies because
it's actually a guillotine. It's not a window anymore.
It's no. They're like, we just thought making the window a guillotine would just been a bold move. Like, well, why would she have one? It doesn't matter. She lives in a castle now.
Represents the death of innocence. Okay.
Yeah. Woo. All right. It did get dark. Okay, so we are going to talk about a little bit of news. Speaking of Margot Robbie, so some of the news I think yesterday came out was she came out and basically said all of these like Harley Quinn projects that people have been talking about, she hasn't been involved in any of the conversations except one. And,
awesome.
Yeah, just one of them, and she is working closely with the writer, and she wants it to be like a bad girl movie. Like Harley Quinn assembles a group of like badass chicks and they do badass things, and she wants it to be rated R. And so there you go. So the big issue right now, like especially on Twitter, people are like losing their minds. Like, it shouldn't be rated R and this and that, because the rumor on this movie is it's not just a Harley Quinn movie, it's a Birds of Prey movie, and it's supposed to have an introduction of Batgirl. So they're like, if Batgirl's going to be in this movie, it shouldn't be rated R. Which I agree with. I'm like, yeah, it probably should be PG-13. So, but the other side of it is, and I was just recently going back and forth with a few guys on it, is like Harley Quinn's really not the role model character. Like Harley Quinn's the character. Like, don't be Harley Quinn, be Wonder Woman. Like, be Batgirl. Don't be like Harley Quinn. That's not.
How well do you feel like that message has been received, Justin?
Not well. Well, then you have things like DC superhero girls where all the female characters are kind of intertwined together, and like Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but I don't think that's that's not what people are cosplaying as.
No, they're
to be like.
They're cosplaying like, Arkham City and things like that. So I'm just saying, I think especially now, like I get if you want to make a movie and like there's a story we want to tell, And it makes total sense with like Harley Quinn. Like they can make a Harley Quinn movie and be R-rated, and I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it. But once you put like Birds of Prey, like you put like Batgirl, Black Canary into it, I'm like, you gotta hold off a bit. And there's a lot of money on the table there. But anyways, what do you think about that?
I think a couple things, as always. I think that once if it stays in its own corner, I think then you kind of have that freedom to just like that's fine, do whatever you want, make a good movie, and we'll see like where it falls. But I do agree, like if you're bringing in a broader universe and a broader spectrum of characters that you then want to spin off into other things that you want to be more like marketable to maybe a broader audience, I think you do kind of shoot yourself in the foot a little bit there. But I also, I get it, even if I don't like it, but I get the idea and the use of Harley Quinn these days is basically being like the DC's female counterpart to Deadpool.
Yeah.
Is really what it feels like. Like it's zany, over the top, breaking the fourth wall, over the top violent, but silly and stuff like that. And I'm like, if they want to do that, like, I just don't know. We've had, by that time we'll have who knows how many like movies with Deadpool in it already. And so I don't know how fresh that's going to feel.
Yeah. I mean,
so I don't know. The bottom line is always make a good movie.
Yeah.
And it'll work. But the initial idea of this, like, it doesn't get me excited for anything. Like, talking about ratings in general, like, never is something I'm like, oh, finally, or oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, the point you have about it, we don't know what freaking Warner Brothers is doing anyways. Like, who knows what their plan is. But if this
I don't think Warner Brothers knows what Warner Brothers
is
doing at this point.
At this point, let's just say they don't know. And like 6 months from now, they may actually know. Maybe they do know. But if you're going to make this like connectivity, if that's what you guys want to have, like if you're going to say Shazam and Aquaman, all these things are together, like there has to be a consistent tone amongst things. There really should be. That's all. That's the only thing I would say. Like I get creativity and I get telling your story, but you have to be responsible too. You have to go, okay, if we're going to make these superhero movies, they all kind of got to be in that same, we have to draw the line at the PG-13 at least.
Or don't connect them. There
you go.
Because then you can do whatever you want and you can have it wildly vary.
So, but right now everything's connected that they've put out. Like even, and they're all the tones everywhere and everything they put out, the tone. So if Shazam is a part of this and it's connected, that's a whole other tone. You know, because it's probably going to be more on the family-friendly side is what they've said. So anyways, just it really isn't a big news article, but the whole concept of it is. To me, it's worth talking about that idea of what should be, like, what's the end game on these films? Like, obviously, they just want to make money. And you do want to tell a story that connects with your, like, idea. And I can see an R-rated Harley Quinn movie. Like, the idea makes sense to me. I'm also of the mind, like, it doesn't always have to be R-rated. Like, you're probably going to make more money as a studio, even though Deadpool made all this money and it was rated R. I think it's a different thing. Like, anyways, I don't want to.
No, I agree, man. I agree.
Cool. Well, there we go. Okay, so there's that. Man, Infinity War. I saw it again.
Oh,
I liked it more.
Number 2.
Yeah, I liked it more. I had a better seat. It made $1 billion already, dude. Like worldwide. It's crazy.
And I think it doesn't open in China until this weekend.
Oh, dang, dude.
Which is the biggest market in the world.
Yeah.
So
well, there you go. Bring on the money. So
it's pretty crazy.
That's crazy, dude. Like I knew it was going to make $1 billion. I didn't think it was going to make it. Like, we're in 12 days, and I think it hit $1 billion in, like, I forget what they said.
Maybe like 10?
10, yeah. It's crazy, like man. So, and even last week, Black Panther was at 5. It's already, and then it came out on digital already,
yesterday.
Which I got it now.
Oh.
Yeah, I already watched like almost all of it.
Dude, I need to do that again.
Yeah, me and the kids started watching it last night. So yeah, it's like, it's such a weird, that's really, I don't know if that's happened yet where a movie is still in the box office. Like literally it's number 5 and they're like, well, it's on video this week.
Right?
Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to pull it or what. Like they have.
Hey, you know what? If Movie Pass would let me, I would go see it again in the theater.
I actually could see it again in the theater because I haven't seen it on my Movie Pass. I have it. I can watch it at home.
So good. It's a good experience in the theater, though.
It is. I'm just saying. Like, I almost gave somebody today. I was having lunch with them and we talked about it. I was gonna buy them a ticket because they were like, I haven't seen it. I was like, have you not seen Black Panther?
Yeah.
Like,
do them a favor, help them out.
Yeah, man. So I almost said here, but it was too late in the day. Anyways, that's just that's amazing.
Yeah, Marvel's owning it, man.
Marvel's owning it, dude. Had a little bit of a conversation today again on Twitter. Twitter is just a bad place sometimes.
Stirring that pot.
And I don't want to stir the pot, but there was this kind of we were having just a conversation about, I think, Harley Quinn, and then it became a Justice League conversation in Infinity War or something.
Yeah.
And they played this clip, and it was of the Batmobile, and someone replaced the music from Danny Elfman to Hans Zimmer. They're like, this seems better. And it was like, it's not, though. It doesn't matter. The music, I mean, maybe it's tonally better, like to what was established before, but the scene was still bad. It was the Batmobile driving through
all the parademons?
Through all the parademons, and I was just like, when I was watching it, I just felt really sad. Like, man. And then we're not covering anything new, but it just made me feel really bummed about, like, man, I really wish Justice League was better movie.
Yeah.
It's not a bad, terrible movie. It just, but when you watch it, and I think it's totally like a fair thing to say in comparison to another superhero team movie whose goals are the same, and you see like what has been pulled off. It's just like, man, it feels like we got cheated is all. And so my complaint isn't a thing of like, it sucks because it's this. I'm just saying it's sad that we didn't get, like, out the gate, we didn't get a freaking great Justice League movie. Yeah. That was all. So it kind of sucks, and it stings. It almost stings a little bit because I love both, and I want both to be great. And it's just like, man, how come one team can do so good? It's like, say you have a sports team that you like, and that they just, why do you keep bombing? What the heck?
Say you have a sports team.
Say you have a sports team, and say you play a game where you have to catch a ball. Why do you keep putting your hands in butter before you go out in the field, right? Like, why do you keep doing that?
You sound like a sports expert.
Hey, this looks like he's got butterfinger.
Oh gosh.
All right, never mind. So speaking of good DC like offerings, all the Lego ones have been fun. So Aquaman Lego movie, they just announced that like a couple days ago.
That's so fun.
That's fun. Dude, that Flash one's really fun. Like,
I still haven't watched it. I feel like a horrible person.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I have it. You should borrow it from me.
I will.
Like, I'll have to give you my iTunes access or something. That's the only way you can watch it. Yeah, that's a fun one, dude, because it's got Plastic Man, and they're starting to introduce different characters. So this one has Jessica Cruz Green Lantern in it.
Which one?
This Aquaman
one? Aquaman one coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have the Red Lanterns are part of it. So that's kind of interesting for an Aquaman movie.
Yeah. And they're probably prepping for the Aquaman movie that's coming out, like to have some tie-ins. I wonder why this Flash one came out. I'm wondering if they thought the Flash movie was supposed to be out by now or something. I don't know, man. Who knows? Like,
or it was just time for a Flash centric story.
There's
nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with that, dude.
You can only do so many Lego Justice League,
Batman.
Bizarro, and Batman, all these things.
They're all fun. They're not like on par with like Lego Batman, but they're fun. They're fun movies.
Yeah.
To watch with the kids, and they enjoy it. So, okay, and so finally, there's not a whole bunch of news going this week, but there is a new Justice League logo, and it's better.
Yeah, for the Scott Snyder.
Yeah, for the Scott Snyder
launching
book
next month.
So they're kind of doing away with that New 52 logo they've been using, and I feel like the Rebirth version just put a bar behind it. That's what we were talking about. But this one looks a little more like.
No, I think it's had a bar behind it the whole time.
Has it really?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just a weird look.
It's just not a good logo.
It doesn't feel like...
It hasn't been good the entire time.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Justice League. So this logo is pretty... It feels like it's, I guess, a good like update to the original look. Yeah, I prefer they just go back to the old shield that they used. Like, nothing wrong with that. But, yeah, it's coming at you. Yeah, it looks good.
I like it.
Looks good. There you go. Just put it on a T-shirt.
Boom.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into some reviews, man.
The comics.
You smell that?
Smells like floppies to me.
Smells like some just two big floppies right here. So we are going to jump in to, what do you want to jump into first? White Knight 8? Or do you want to jump in? One's ending and one's beginning something.
Yeah. Let's begin with the beginning.
All right. We'll begin with the beginning. So we are going to jump right into No Justice. Number 1, Justice League. No Justice.
Mm-hmm. So we got Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Joshua Williamson on writing duties, and art by Francis Manapul.
There you go. He has pulled this man right in. Because I was not super excited about like this.
Well, we talked about it last week. You didn't love
I didn't like the teams.
The DC Nation little story.
Yeah, the tease didn't do much for me. The art was great, but the tease didn't do anything. But jumping into this, like already I was like seeing all the Green Lanterns. It got me excited. I like Francis Manapul's art. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over. His art is so good.
Drew like John and Guy?
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Yeah. Everything looks, even Kyle Rayner back there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have Arisia, you have freaking, not Vath, I can't think of his name, there's Kilowog.
You have the Cyclops tree guy.
Yeah.
I should know more of these
Cyclops tree guy. I don't know who Birdface is over there. I don't know who that guy is.
He looks awesome, though.
There's Broccoli head guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Vath in the corner? I hope that's Vath. Vath was one of my favorite guys. And then there's Simon Baz down there. It looks like Jessica Cruz is actually behind.
Yeah, behind Simon
Baz. There's like 7 Earth Lanterns. Anyways, it was just cool seeing the Green Lanterns. And I like how Hal Jordan's like, it's just a crack. And they're like, freaking fool, he busted open the source wall. Like,
yeah,
this is not good.
Until we have the source wall.
Yeah, tell us about the source wall.
And so, I mean, it's primarily to do with New Gods, right? They talk about the source wall. They actually talk about the source, which I think actually, speaking of the Justice League movie, I think, does Steppenwolf talk about the source? Maybe I'm...
The Unity.
Oh, he just talks about the Unity. So the source...
Unity.
So the source wall is this wall, obviously.
Man, Steppenwolf looked like crap compared to things.
Gosh, dude, it's bad. Let's not go there. It's this wall that's on the edge of the known multiverse. So it's like, that's kind of the border. And it's super creepy looking whenever you've seen it, because it's basically made up of people like absorbed into it, like these giant entities that were not able to pass through it, or they've tried to pass through it and they get trapped in it. And so past that is the source they refer to in like a lot of like New God stories, and that's the source of basically all that exists, all the power that exists.
How cool does that look, though?
It's a big deal that this is broken, and that you have all of this cosmic essence or whatever power on the other side of it, and
leaking
now
out.
Crap, that's leaking out. Sorry, but it does look amazing.
It can't be that bad. Can you imagine like this, like being in space and there's just giant like faces embedded into this giant wall? Like, it just looks so cool when you think about it. Like, that's freaking rad.
And it's again, we're just going to talk about it the whole time, but the way Francis Manapul, that first big splash, that 2-page splash, is just it's glorious. It's so good.
Yeah, and the colors. I mean, the colors make a pop. I think Hi-Fi. I think they're doing the color. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have everyone jumping in, Justice League, Teen Titans, everyone's fighting off Brainiac, losing, and then we get pulled into Brainiac's ship with everyone.
Yeah.
How do you feel about these interactions as they start?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's just a really good way to set up like all the different teams that are together, and like the kind of the same foe. Like how they're kind of being manipulated into one thing, you know. Like there's like one thing that's drawing them all out, and so I like it. It was a good little setup. Some of the characters I was like, oh, I didn't know anything. I didn't know Donna Troy was back, so that was cool seeing Donna Troy. But I haven't been reading Titans, so
seeing Dr. Fate again was kind of cool.
Yeah,
and the Laker looks good for him.
The what?
The Laker look, like the purple with his gold. It looks good. I thought it was being funny. It wasn't that funny.
Well, I was sorry. I wasn't even looking at those panels, so I think that's where you lost me. So you're further into the story then with Dr. Fate.
Sorry.
Where Robin's like,
I'm hitting
what's
the
this guy
pages
doing?
A little faster.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's. I mean, that's not his new look. That's the new look Brainiac gave him. You know.
Right, and I think you see that.
Sorry.
For
Okay.
everyone. Yeah.
Sorry.
You should be sorry.
Yeah.
I think you got a couple pages on, you got another cool 2-page spread with Brainiac talking about the cosmic entities that they're trying to get at.
The 4 brothers, the cosmic gods.
Dude, and in the bottom corner of that second page, Beast Boy wanting to be on Team Batman.
Yeah.
And the form of bat in that moment.
Bat.
It's just fun.
Yeah, that type of stuff that I think this feels a lot more like the fun that I wanted in Metal, where I think Metal was just so convoluted.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
You know, this, I'm like, okay, I can totally jump into that. And I think that's what's making it easier for me to like be on board, where Metal, I just felt was convoluted. And I felt like it was up my alley when I heard about it, but execution, not there.
It went a little more, Metal went a little more Grant Morrison than I thought it was going to. And it also just kept getting darker and sadder as we went on, you know what I mean? Until the very end. And this feels more like, this is just bananas, crazy, let's smash stuff together and see how it goes, which I think is good. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it.
Heck yeah.
Any other parts stick out to you?
Yeah, just, it was interesting seeing all the, Task Force 11 or XI, or I don't know what they want to call it. It looks like they're going Roman numerals, so I'll do that. So we got like Maxwell Lord there. Looks like Dr. Destiny, Hector Hammond. We got Son of Saturn there. I
didn't recognize a good portion of people.
I don't know who.
Not gonna lie.
Like Dubalex is in there. Dubalex is he was from the Superboy comic, like
right.
He's like part of the Cadmus, and he was on Young Justice and stuff.
Yep.
So
freaking
who the heck's this guy?
Amanda
is that wait, is that Manchester Black?
Where?
I can't tell if he's
on the right.
Does he have a Union Jack on his belt? I can't tell if that's him. I can't tell if that's him. Be interesting to find out who the heck that is.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different people in there, and I only
the two guys in the back. I can't figure out who the two guys in the back are, and I don't know who
Amanda Waller,
the lady is up there.
Just seems like she's setting to mess stuff up.
It's like time to hack Brainiac.
So the next page after that, there's some cool effects just as far as the spaceship flying through space, and then Lex Luthor kind of being in the shadows, like standing next to
John Jones.
Yeah,
I love John Jones, by the way, in this.
Oh man, so good. And I think what's funny is Lex brings it up, like you it's like you used to be this for the Justice League. Can you be that again?
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, that's so cool, man.
Yeah. So they're definitely kind of retconning his history with them. So hopefully they tell that story one day, because he's so John Jones is part of the Justice League. Like, we can't have Justice League without him. It doesn't go well.
Yeah, and I think I dig like the different dialogue and stuff and the interactions between some of these characters.
I like the little thing with Lobo. If the main man hooked you into the guts of a Bastich, could you get him all big and make him explode? I don't know. I just thought that was
funny.
You
would like Lobo.
I like Lobo. I don't like him in Justice League. So even the fact that he's here, I'm like, why the heck is he here? Okay.
Yeah, don't love it. Yeah. So a couple pages, or maybe a page after that, that shot in the corner where you just see all of them looking up, like
I was going to mention that.
I love that.
Okay, so you know what I love about that? I don't know if it was intentional, but that's kind of like that classic Justice League International thing where they're all kind of looking up, grouped up, and so it reminded me of the Kevin Maguire covers. So it's pretty cool. Seeing everybody there.
Love the look of it, and I love that the next page you have this double page spread as stuff is going down.
Yep.
And Francis Manapul did this a lot with his Flash book, but he really messed with layouts and how stuff
his layouts are great
with all the cells and stuff like that, and to see these cells laid out like Brainiac's symbol, right? Mm-hmm. I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's really cool
to see those little inset.
Just
cells like that.
That rendition of Brainiac right there is really cool too. Just the way his face is, it looks extra creepy.
In the shadows.
Yeah, it looks good.
And then we have on the last page, we have this big. There's the big reveal. Yep. Brainiac, who was took all these guys out in the first couple pages, said, "You need to do exactly as I say." His head just exploded.
Yeah.
So.
I'm like, okay. Well.
And I love the Beast Boys, guys. What are we gonna do? And I'm guessing
so fragged. That's Lobo.
That's Lobo.
Yeah,
we're so fragged.
That's classic Lobo.
And that kind of an ending to a book. I'm like, oh crap! I can't wait for the next one.
And it's next week.
Yes.
It's good. So this was just a fun book. I think some of the dialogue was clunky at points, but
yes, when they were talking about how you could fit a whole city in the bottles.
Yeah.
I'm like,
we get you. I know. Can't freaking Bottle City of Candor. Like, just say that. Like, don't hint, you know.
But the idea, the character interactions, and the art, like, made up for a lot.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's kind of fun, like, trying to figure out who the heck are these guys here, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and it feels like, I mean, at least for now, it feels like real stakes, too. Like, something is at stake.
Yeah. The universe. So,
and all of existence.
Yeah, and it makes sense of the goofy costumes. At first, I was like, what's up with these stupid costumes? But whatever. I get it. Brainiac's trying to...
Well, he's preparing them to be able to go out.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
like, they have to be able to be in space and stuff.
Yeah. So, it's cool. I'll buy it. Like, right now, I'm into it, you know? Like, I'm bought into the story. I'll get what they're trying to do. And so...
Yeah, I dig it.
Cool. All right. So, what do you give it?
I give it a let's go.
Yeah, I give it a let's go as well. It's fun. That artwork, man.
Yes.
I can't not like get behind this artwork. It's just beautiful, and I love everything about it. So
agreed.
All right, man. So
I'm glad that Jorge Jimenez is going to be doing the Justice League book, but it makes me a little sad that Francis Manapul isn't.
Yeah,
just a little.
What are you gonna do?
I'll enjoy what I get. You know, I'm not gonna.
You get what you get.
Look a gift horse in the mouth or whatever.
And you don't throw a fit. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
It's good.
Words to live by.
Words to live by, dude. I will
Justin
give you...
the dad.
There's my dad. Talking at you. All right, so Batman.
White Knight number 8.
Ending. Dude, this I feel like it came out fast. And
it did, right?
I think that's because it was so good. Like, I'm like, man, I just read this.
Mm-hmm.
And... I didn't actually just read it, you know? Like, I feel...
Well, in the way the story kicks off, too, you feel like, oh, this is literally, like, leading right out of the last moments of the last book. And, man, it just hits the gas and doesn't let up for the entire thing. Yeah,
it's freaking great. So, I guess a couple things I wanted to... Overall, I guess we can do an overall of the story. This is going to be one of those books that's just classic, man. That's like... there's so many Batman miniseries and little stories that come out, and they kind of get lost in the noise. You know, it's like, oh, it's a Batman story. This one actually is saying something. It has a really interesting angle, and like some of the stuff like Sean Murphy has thrown in here is freaking great. Like all of the nods and stuff to Batman the Animated Series, the Burton movies, the Nolan movies. You know, it's really fun. Like seeing Roxy Rocket in there, like that's... You know, she pops up in there sometimes, but she's from the animated series, you know. But it's fun seeing her there. The Batmobiles. Dude, he can just make a book about Batmobiles just driving around.
It's true. Doesn't
even have to be people in them. They're just driving. You're like, there's a Batmobile driving around. Seeing the Adam West Batmobile in there, I love it. Like, all those pages, those should be like posters. Like, I love every single one of them. The only thing I just wasn't digging so much in this book, because it doesn't really make so much sense. I don't like Dick not being the first Robin. I know that's such a small nitpick. It just bugs me.
We come back to it again.
I know, we came back to it again. And then I don't like how the Joker can just turn himself on to the Joker. It's like he's the Hulk. Does that make sense? Like he just like, oh, I'm the Hulk. And
I think it felt like this instance, that's what he was because of the pills. Not like he can always do that.
Yeah, I just feel like because I wasn't even sure, was he makeup or was he perma-white? And I guess he's perma-white based on the how he can transform. And so I just felt that was a little weird to me.
It's a little unclear.
Yeah. And so it doesn't make me not enjoy it. I think it's a great book. The ending, well, let's go through. Is there anything else is there anything specific in the book that you wanted to kind of chat about?
Yeah, I mean, just the general idea, kind of what you touched on, is I love when Batman stories specifically, but stories in general, kind of acknowledge everything that the character has done and doesn't try to write off any of it.
Yeah,
It says like, yeah, that's all part of it and it's all true. Let's just all join this together. But he takes another step, and Sean Murphy takes this and puts a new twist to where you're in a different place at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like we're getting spoilers.
Yes. Yeah, definitely spoilers for this book.
And for the series. But man, like at the end of this, Nora and Victor Fries are like helping, like being good guys.
Yeah.
You have Alfred's gone. Like he's dead. You have these different things, and Batman reveals he's Bruce Wayne to Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
And implies that he wants to just do that in general.
Yeah.
Those are pretty bold moves forward while containing and acknowledging everything that's come before. And I think that's one of the overarching things that really works well for me, where it feels like, man, this really hits well. It feels classic, but really progressive at the same time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the main thing. And the art is just incredible, and the action is fantastic.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed, we had the two Harleys, right? The one that was Neo Joker and then the original.
Yeah.
The characterization of the original one I thought was really impressive. I think her arc was probably one of the best ones by the end of the story.
Oh, for sure. So one of the questions I had, though, did we ever see what Alfred left him in the floorboard? Like, he mentions it in the note. And I'm like, did I miss something?
No, I don't think they ever show it.
Because I was like, why did he have that note? And it talked about there's something on the floorboard.
Check I left something for you or whatever.
And I'm like, well, we never find out what it is.
We don't.
And
you got to leave the people wanting more, Justin.
Well, he's said so much that they want him to do more. And if he does, it's going to be the same like way of doing it. Like, no fill-in artists. It's all me. And I think he wants to have 11 or something in the box before he starts. So
nice.
So anyways, yeah, I don't know. P.S. Check the loose floorboard in my quarters. There's something there you're ready to see. I'm like, what does that mean?
Don't know.
So yeah, so it was cool how they even used like using Duke Thomas, using the two Harleys. Like I like the relationship with Babs and Nightwing. Again, just, actually, I feel like they made Nightwing kind of a wiener in this. He felt more like a Jason Todd instead of a Dick Grayson in this book.
Interesting. Okay.
To me, he didn't feel...
Yeah, I don't feel like I got enough of him to really get a feel one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'm definitely like, oh, wow, so he's revealing who he is at the end of this. That's
yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think also, just to talk through, I mean, I know we've talked about the way that all the vehicles are drawn and stuff like that, and how dynamic and how awesome those look. But even the little choices in character design too.
Yeah.
Like, just appreciating those over the course of the series, but specifically this last issue, just thinking like with original Harley and like her big round glasses and like the coat and stuff, like it's just such a cool look. And I think he does a good, but at the same time, so that feels very like mod to me, you know what I mean? But then she's talking to Batman, who has like a high like collar to his cape, almost like Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah.
And so I think there's this timelessness that you're in, where you're like, yeah, all this stuff from the 60s and the 2000s and all these things coexist.
Yeah.
But you're still not sure exactly what time frame this is happening.
No, not at all.
And I think that ambiguity is almost always a plus for a comic book. Because that's, again, like we've talked about it, like one less thing to try to explain. And that ambiguity, I think, gives you freedom to do a lot more just really cool stuff.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of this whole series is the mind control with Clayface, like how they put the clay into everyone's body to control them.
Yeah.
Like, what a cool idea. So
right?
I really like how that was just, I would never thought about that, It was really cool. And then I like when he kind of has his revenge at the end. He goes nuts.
Oh, yeah.
So that was,
and I love that
cool.
Joker moment where he's like, how much of that do you remember?
Yeah. So is this, it was a good ending. It just, I think, when we got towards the end, I felt like he was running out of space. Like, it did kind of go by quick. Like, okay, now we're getting married. Now we're doing this. I'm the Joker again. So
do you feel like was that like a confirmation that they were married when he says I do, but he's Joker? Or do you feel like they're trying to say like, oh, she missed out. Like she almost had what she wanted and missed.
I think that she missed out.
Because you cut to the other Harley, kind of having that smirk.
Yeah, like, see, you missed out too, Or like, I have a chance. Like, you never know if they serialize this. Like, is she going to be able to maybe pursue the Joker?
Because it's such a sad moment.
Yeah, it definitely is. And so, I like that Batgirl and Dick are still like in their GCPD outfits.
Yeah, and the GTO is actually something going forward too. I think that's another change. Batman offering up all of the Batmobiles and technology like is a change. It felt like you still wrapped up the story.
Yeah.
Obviously, not all the threads were tied together, but I don't think, in my mind, that's not like a requirement for every story. Like, there's always going to be loose threads because we don't ever see the beginning or the end of any story. But I think there's enough interesting things set up like that if you wanted to continue the story, like, I want to know what happens next.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely want it to jump in here. So, anywho,
so good.
White
I'm
Knight,
looking forward to just having this.
I feel like we didn't even do it
story
justice
kind of like,
in our review, but just it's such a good book, and I think we covered it fairly like throughout its release. But just to wrap it up, it's a gotta go, man. I'm gonna get this in a collected edition because Sean Murphy, he gets a lot of cool like extra stuff in his collected editions. If you're able to like flip through his Punk Rock Jesus, there's a lot of stuff there. Because I read the single issues of that, but I flipped through the trade. I'm like, oh dang, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. So it's gonna be worth it. If you haven't read this book, if you're like, oh man, you kind of slept on it, and then now that it's out, you're like, oh, I'm just eager. Just get the trade when it comes out. I'm sure it's gonna be like this crazy hardcover. It'll probably come out in the fall. It's such a good book. It's gonna be one of those classic books where they're probably going to adapt this. It's going to be some like DC animated movie at one point, and it's going to not be as good as the book because they sometimes have a hard time adapting those. Hey,
maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Yeah, this is so great, and the artwork is.
I love it.
Yeah, they should do one without text bubbles or something.
Oh gosh,
such a great book, man.
That actually would be really cool.
Yeah, so I give it a gotta go overall. I give this issue a let's go, but this overall series, Batman White Knight, is a gotta go. Like, you should definitely check this book out. It's so freaking great, man. Like, just the fact that you got all these Batmobiles in there. On Batmobiles alone, like, seeing the 1960s Batmobile, like, being submerged in water, it's sad but awesome at the same time. Like, seeing all these, like, these things coexist, like you're saying. It's just a mishmash of all timelines and everything that's awesome about Batman.
Yeah, it feels like really, even though, I mean, we were kind of questioning that first issue, like, just comes out guns blazing.
Yeah.
And I remember when we talked about that being like, wow, is this going to be like Batman's the bad guy? Like, what is this? What is it? But then you end with this issue, and I think just, again, like, just Batmobiles alone, it just feels like this celebration of Batman and what his stories have been. And I think just proving the potential of what they can be going forward. Yeah.
Well, the one thing I do like about it is that it's addressing the issue of Batman. Like, we read the Batman comics, and it's like, Batman's awesome, he's doing these things, but like, there's repercussions to an actual Batman. There's property damage. There's this guy who's basically running the city because he's obsessed, and he has his mission. And there is like, you know.
Yeah,
things that happen.
I mean, and how did you feel about the reveal, or I wouldn't really call it a twist, like that Harley was behind the whole thing?
Yeah, I didn't hate that. I didn't hate it. It's kind of, it kind of like, it almost like is a oh dang, okay, like, so Joker got played too. Like, Joker thought he was playing Batman, and in the end, it was Harley's kind of like machinations behind the entire like behind the scenes, which you kind of start seeing that in the middle. I think it was like issue 5, where she's having that moment with Batman on the roof, and they're communicating.
Right, and she seems pretty in control.
Yeah, and Batman's even kind of like, that's why I was easy on you and this and that. So I think Batman was key to it. I think Batman knew the whole time that it's Harley and not Joker.
Right.
And
what was interesting, I thought it was actually like that reveal was fine, but then I thought like she says something like, even Jack didn't know it, and then Batman's like, well, who do you think told me? And I'm like, that was a cool moment to be like. And again, I think it gives like this really beautiful thing. She talks about how, like, I get, like, before everyone wanted to hate the Joker forever, I wanted them to have the chance to know Jack. And I thought that was a really beautiful sentiment. And I think you see that he even proved her point by saying like, yeah, I know like you're the one that made this happen, but I'm going to go along with it as long as I can.
Yeah.
It's just really good, man. And I think we've seen a lot of, just like Batman can be characterized in so many ways, and I think it works. I think Joker is another character. I'm realizing, because you think about the DC Nation story with Tom King and Clayman.
Oh man,
creepy as hell Joker, like unhinged, like just what the heck, like I don't want this guy around me at all because I can't stand it. And then you have this story where it's like, wow, maybe there is something under the layer. You know what I mean? Under that top layer that it's there, and I think it explores the possibility of that.
I don't want that top layer though with the Joker. Like I don't want to feel bad for him though. Like even
I'm not saying like it's everyone's cup of tea, but I'm saying like I think it's something like, oh, that story works for me, even though my preference would be like that crazy, like scary Joker.
Yeah, I don't want to have like, oh, the poor Joker, you know. Like my kids are asking me the other day, Dad, why is the penguin, you know? And you kind of get into like his like kind of tragic story of his dad dying and like his mom making him carry the umbrella and all that stuff. And
right.
And they're like, so he's not really a bad guy. He's just, you know, he was just made fun of and stuff. And so like that's what makes villains great. But you don't want to feel bad for the Joker because it's one of those things that you wrestle with. It's good to wrestle with it with a character like Penguin. Like, oh, well, you know, he's that way because, you know, what his upbringing, what things happen. And he still's making bad decisions, but you have a little bit of like pity for him. Whereas like Joker, dude, I don't want to have any of those feelings for him, dude. Forget that guy.
I don't think this made you feel sad for the Joker. I think it made you feel sad for Jack.
Oh, look at you.
I don't think it softened the blow of Joker at all. Like he was pretty unhinged and pretty crazy.
Fair enough.
Boom.
Fair enough. All right. Batman White Knight. It's a gotta go. Any other comics did you get this week?
No, man. Just those two, actually. It's a pretty light week for me. How about you?
Yeah, I got Oblivion Song 3.
I have Flash, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay, so there you go. But Oblivion Song 3. I said I was going to drop it.
You did.
But I couldn't leave the comic shop without a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out.
Always the sucker.
And Delon was like really excited about it. He was like, Oblivion Song 3 is out. And I was like, okay. So Robert Kirkman getting my money. He
was so genuinely excited about that. See,
he's happy about everything. He is. He's a good person. Everyone, be more like Delon. Be less like myself. Be kind of like Matt Ritchie. So there you go.
That sounds like a good mix.
Be kind of like Matt Ritchie. All right. So before we go, we want to talk about a few things to plug. First off, if you're not listening to Robin Everyone Loves the Drake podcast, you should. You should definitely go over there. Even so, right now, they're doing a really cool adaptation, like a radio drama of The Lonely Place of Living comics that came out earlier this year. It's kind of like been in the Detective Comics series, and it's in Rebirth, and it's kind of like Tim Drake coming out of this, like he was banished to like, you know, this evil Jor-El's like little planet, and he meets up with like a twisted future version of himself. Anyways,
right.
It's really cool, and we're talking about it because me and Matt are on it. And
we are.
Matt hasn't showed up yet, but
I
thought you were this week because they were talking about like Red Hood. I was like, oh dang, and no, there was just a lot of Robin talking to himself. So I'm excited about it. But yeah, definitely check that out. It's fun, and it's just a fun thing to listen to, like while you're driving, and especially if you read those comics and like hearing it play out. Rob did a great job putting it together. It's really high quality, and it's fun because he reached out to a whole bunch of different podcasts to take part. So definitely check that out. Man. Yeah, check it out and have fun with it. Lastly, me and Matt are going to Comic-Con Revolution.
We're going to Comic-Con
Revolution, which is a great con. It started out last year. This is the second year, and it's actually really... kind of blown up. Like all the stuff that they have, I'm like, wow, I'm really impressed.
Like a lot of stuff lined up this year.
Really impressed with the lineup, and it's going to be a great time. And so we get to host a panel at 2:00 on Saturday, May 19th.
Yes, we do.
And I think it's in room 104B or whatever. If not, we put it on our social media. So if you go to our Instagram, all the information is there. Tickets are still available. I would definitely check this con out. Like not just for like, hey, go hang out with us, but like go. Check out that con. There's so much cool stuff going on. Like right before our panel, like you can go listen to Kevin Conroy and Lauren Lester and more people from like Batman Anime series. They're going to be talking. And so like There's just gonna be
awesome.
Yeah, there's just gonna be a lot of content, and it's a really cool con. And I feel like in the next few years, this is gonna like blow up and be one of those cons. You're like, oh, California has this other really great con you got to go to. So check it out. And it's definitely like a comic book con. You're not gonna. It's not like Comic Con where you're gonna see a whole bunch of weird stuff like, why is NBC here talking about their crime drama? Like none of that stuff. It's all comic focused. And so check it out. Comic-Con Revolution is freaking awesome. So check it out. We're excited to be there, and we'll be there with Holy Batcast, Andy DiGenova over there. So what's up? So there you go, Matt.
Indeed.
But if you wanted to share this information, say you wanted to share the information with friends online. Yeah. You're like, hey, how can I know about Comic-Con Revolution? Well, just follow the show at Let's Go Comic Show on Twitter, Instagram, all those places. But what if you're like, we get that, but I want to send Matt a message.
Send me a message.
I'm obsessed with his voice.
Grab a bottle.
I want to DM him.
No. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Ritchie.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at J_Rocka, and we can chat about things. It'll be great. I love going back and forth. I love going back and forth and talking to people. Banter. It's fun. Please check out our website at www.letsgocast.com, where you can listen to this show and the Let's Go podcast and the Start Today podcast and whatever. I probably throw another podcast on there. Start a podcast and I'll put it on my website. There you go. But check out the merch tab. You can buy some Let's Go Comic Show merch. Get a t-shirt. Buy something. It helps to support the show. Yeah. That's what we need is the support. So help us out. Also, go to patreon.com/letsgocast, and you can be a Patreon and join the ranks of other happy people supporting the show and helping us make it better. Please consider doing that. It would be fun, and it'd be great, and you'd be helping us out, and you'd be helping yourself out. You'd be like, I felt really good about the donation I made to the Let's Go podcast. So, finally, if you could please go to iTunes podcast store and leave us a review with 5 stars, we would super appreciate that, and we will read that review on the show.
Oh,
and then you'll be famous, and you will find the love of your life. I guarantee. I promise you that. That will happen. That will happen.
With an asterisk. That might not happen.
That may not happen. So possibly don't get your hopes up, but don't get our hopes up. Leave a review. There you go.
There we go.
All right. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.